Okay, Randy, I think we got enough members.
Okie doke.
Welcome to the center.
Can we adopt the agenda? I guess most of the members didn't see it. So basically the agenda says we will have an introduction, adopt the AGM from last year's minutes, reports from Gary, Doug, Gary, Randy, and the election. The election will be done as a slate, as we've done in previous years. I'll say something about that when we start. After that, if there's no other business, we'll adjourn. Then we'll start a regular members meeting. Gary will give an introduction. Gary's going to do a short talk on observing Mars. And we'll have a call for observation reports, member photos, and then the sky this month, which is online, any other business, and then we adjourn. Hopefully before midnight. How long is our meeting, Gary?
2.5 hours.
Okay. It might be enough.
Well, I don't think there's anybody else on, according to my list
Okay.
here. So if we don't get kicked off, we don't get kicked off. Hopefully.
Okay, can we have a mover for the minutes, or sorry, for the agenda?
Moved.
Who's that, Gary?
Second.
Gary.
Moved by Gary,
Can
second
you
by
say your
who?
names?
Marcellus.
No, sorry, Marks. I got Chris first. My problem is I'm writing stuff down, so I'm not looking at the screen when you're talking. Sorry. I'm not ignoring you, but I am ignoring you. Okay, sorry.
Chris, can you keep an eye on the chat line for us, please? For questions and anything like that.
Okay.
All right. Where are we now? Okay.
Introduction. I don't think you need to do the full benefits thing. You can do that during the latter part of the meeting, if that's okay with you.
Okay with me.
I would add as a last thing, for the membership position, I expect when we come out of this pandemic that we, like everybody else in groups who are failing all over the place, will need a massive effort to rebuild even to what we had. And I expect that we'll have to put a huge effort in filling that membership role at that time, and empower it to try and help build up. At the moment, I'm doing a lot of the membership thing as secretary because there was some overlap, you know, handling new members and sending out things. So, so we'll get your chance next time.
Yeah. I also like to thank Gary Snow for being the treasurer for the past few years. Thank you very much, Gary. Greatly appreciate it. And also Dave, who
can you see the attendees, Gary? I can't.
Yeah, he's not there.
He's not here.
Okay. How do you see that in participants?
Participants.
Okay. I'm just
Thank you, Gary, for your comments.
I'm just scrolling down so I can get a list of them.
Yeah, I'd like to thank people who are still working on the executive, and especially Gary and Dave, who were, you know, very helpful. And there's, well, treasurer is a stressful thing because you got to get things done, and that's a pain in a volunteer position. So thanks very much, Gary. And Dave was very helpful. He just a bit busy, and he wants to be able to do more astronomy rather than the political side, and I can relate to that. Yeah, the political side takes a lot away from you, and I'm sure most members can. I want to thank Phil for stepping up, And I want to thank members for executive for coming back, and for members for actually attending the meeting. Oh yeah, and thanks Glenn George for being our facilitator, and thanks Randy for railroading me and the others back into this wonderful executive.
You're welcome. So unless there's other business, the formality of an AGM is typically that you have to submit anything for an AGM in advance, but we do allow the option of someone to bring up something if you want to turf us all out. So with that, we need a call to adjourn the AGM and start a regular meeting.
Also move. Mike.
Mike. And
Second.
say a
Glenn.
name.
Gary.
George.
Yeah, I think I may have gotten in there just ahead of everybody else. Glenn George, seconding.
Yes, Glenn.
You don't show up on my screen for some reason. Okay.
Chris.
So the agenda for the next part was Gary's introduction.
Gary's going.
Have to leave.
Okay.
Enjoy your meeting.
Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
I'll be seeing you soon.
You will. Gone.
Okay.
Okay.
Randy,
bye.
I want to check with Chris. Was there anything brought up in the chat line, Chris? He says, "Oh, I was supposed to do that, right?"
Yep.
Looking at the chat line, no, there wasn't anything brought up.
Okay.
Okay. Lots of congratulations to people. Thank you very much. Greatly approved.
Phil,
Okay.
any snow up your way yet?
Okay, go on. Let's move it to Sam.
They got snow in Wisconsin and what's that next one? Minneapolis, that area?
Yeah, no, I was sitting at a patio this afternoon. It was pretty warm here.
Yeah, not as warm as us.
Okay.
We had 17 today.
Yeah, about
All right,
the same.
let's move.
Yeah.
Let's move on with the meeting.
Okay.
Oh, okay, short talk.
So I suggested this agenda. You can change it, Gary, if you want. Do you want to do something else first, or?
Nah, let's get the talk over with quick and fast.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, no one's going to. The person who's talking tonight, I know personally. He's been over 40 years observing Mars. In 1991, he was the first to observe a dust storm in the Solis Lozis region, and has been quite busy watching Mars all his life. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to the best person I know.
I got to mute this.
Is Gary Diamond. Why, thank you very much. Well, since nobody else would introduce me.
You're so modest.
Yeah. I am, ain't I, these days?
Heave it out of you.
Okay, Mars, what to see on Mars? Well, as you noticed in the sky, if it's ever clear, you'll notice this big white red star in the west, controlling the whole sky, brighter than Mars for a change. Yeah. And Mars every 2 years gets close enough for us to see detail. We get to see the satellites of Mars. We get to see the polar caps shrink. We get to see clouds form and move across the planet. And this year, every 15 years, it gets close enough that it's really big. And the last time it was almost this big was in 2003. When it was 25 arc seconds. I think it's arc seconds. And at that point, it was low in the horizon. This time it's 23 and it's higher up in our skies. And the detail we're seeing visually and this new CCD cameras that we have, we're seeing detail that we've never seen before. The American Lunar Planetary Society has been getting so many pictures that they can't believe it. You don't have to be a member to send your pictures in, and they appreciate it because they need the thing. So every 2 years, as you can see from this picture, Mars gets close enough to Earth for us to see some fantastic stuff. How do you find Mars? Like I said, you look in the west, look for the bright red star. For those people who don't,
It's not
take out your
west.
phone.
It's not west.
Yeah, well, oh, east, right. West, yeah, east,
Southwest, southeast. More.
southeast.
You'll see Jupiter if you look in the west.
That's right. I'm sorry about that. The red star in the east, rising in the east. Right now, it's all you need is an iPhone or an Android phone right now, and download the stargazing app, and it will take you right to it. For those people who have never had any idea, what can you see in a 2-inch telescope? At the best, you'll see a bright disk and a reddish huge to it, as you can see here. A 4-inch, which is what you see here. You get to see a lot of information. You get to see the polar caps, some of the dark markings. An 8-inch, it will be worthwhile adding an orange filter, brings out the, to the eyepiece, brings out lots of detail in the darker features of the planet stand out against the orange background. A blue filter will actually, don't interrupt me.
That's 8-inch reflector, right?
That's 8-inch. Doesn't matter if it's a reflector. It's not a refractor, that's for sure. All right. 10-inch is a much better size for planetary observing. The features are will show much more features, including some dark markings, the North Pole cap right here, and the South Pole cap are quite easy to see. Filters are a great thing to add. A blue filter adds to your eyepiece will enhance the ice caps. A red filter will brighten up the desert regions, darken the rest of the planet. A green filter will enhance the overall contrast of the image. So use your filters if you have them. Most people have a great pack. Surface detail you can see. These are some of the surface details you can see. If anybody's been on the talk list, Mr. Brown had a picture just like this. You can see the polar hood. The polar hood is a fog base, which will evaporate and will show the North Pole later on. Right now, we got a view of the South Pole. The South Pole has really gotten smaller. Visible is the mountains of Michaels. The Hell Basin here is an excellent place to look for storms. Most people see this part here, Cirrus Majors. This is a nice photograph showing you how Mars has grown to the point where right now in the where we're at opposition, it'll be big. That's an old one. I never updated that. What can you see? Light regions were thought to be continents, while the dark regions were thought to be seas at one time. The dark regions, the light regions during the season would actually seem to shrink. We now know that's caused by the dust being blown around. The key feature to look at on Mars include things like Cirrus Majors, this area here. I noticed in photographs by Chris, he actually has the Mount Olympus on his picture. Mount Olympus is the tallest mountain in the solar system, is 7 miles, and its base is about the size of Newfoundland, I've been told. Some key points for observing the red planet. Observe it near opposition because it's the biggest, it's the brightest, and it's the highest in the sky. Pick a steady night with good seeing. Because if seeing is bad, it's really bad. Let your telescope climatize. So for a 10-inch, you need at least out for 3 hours, especially if it's enclosed. And observe frequently. The more you observe, the more you see. This is just how film and digital has changed. This is my best picture I ever took of Mars in 1995. There's the polar cap right there, and there's Cyrus Majors right there. Now, this is the one I took in 2020, polar cap, and the detail is unbelievable. And a cloud forming over here in Libra. Okay. Usually around this time, guys, is the dust storm area. Usually we get major dust storms showing up, but so far this year, the dust storms have been seen in earlier. This is an image here of showing where some dust storms were back in June and in May. Doesn't say that dust storms won't, but major dust storms usually happen around this time. And back in 2018, we had a major dust storm that clouded out all this detail. Here I've just taken 2 pictures. I just want to show you with WinJupis, you can actually do measurements. The solar polar cap was 715 kilometers on August the 8th. By the 14th, it's now down to 493 kilometers. Okay. Here's some of the places to look out for. In December, make sure you're looking in 333 degrees. You'll see the North Pole's large hood will disappear. You'll see W clouds and Orphicoid clouds over Asia Mars, places right here. In November, you got a high probability of dust storms at about 315 degrees longitude, clouds over one of the major craters. Actually, this one was picked up last year. They thought the volcano had erupted. If you remember, NASA first claimed. There's been a lot of research done on this area. And by Mars 2014, the hood will be breaking up and the North Pole should be exposed. So some of the highlights to look forward when you're looking at Mars. And that's it. Any questions? That was quick and fast.
Gary?
Yeah.
You ever looked at using an ADC, an atmospheric dispersion corrector? I came
yes,
across them recently, but there's none to be found anywhere in the world.
Oh yeah, I have one on my telescope, which I use all the time. It's an amazing piece of equipment.
They're prisms, aren't they? And they got sliders with.
They're 2 prisms that they slide. You got to make sure that it's balanced to the horizon. So as the night goes by, you got to keep setting it up. Okay. Once you set, what happens is it's visually and through the telescope, the amount of detail you see on Jupiter and the planets that are 30 and below. Okay. It's amazing. Even visually, you can see the difference in the detail.
Because it's only a couple $100 item, right?
Yeah, it sells for about 186 Canadian.
Wow. I was looking at the ZWO Mark II, and everywhere I went, even Alibaba or whatever in China says December before they're shipping. I even found myself on a site in Japan using Google Translate to translate the web page to see if they actually had any, right?
I don't know if you can see it's. I don't know if my Camera.
Oh no, not going to show us a bookcase.
No, it's right here.
Okay,
See
yeah.
if I
Yeah.
move this down here.
What's the
There
brand?
it is right there. You see it?
What's
Those
the
two
brand?
arms, they move. That's
What's the
all there is to
brand?
it.
Diff-
But it really improves the viewing of all planets.
Yeah.
That thing, I was quite amazed when I got it. When I was reading up on it, I thought, oh no, it can't be that good. But it's
What do you know?
really good.
What brand it was?
Hmm?
You know what brand it was?
ZWO.
Okay, ZWO.
ZWO.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, type of thing.
Okay. Thanks.
I just got a notice there today too from the director of Mars, and he said the number one problem they're having with all these new cameras that sending in all the detail in that is that people are over processing them to get the detail, and by doing that, you're losing where the dust is moving and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they would prefer that you didn't overdo them to bring out the detail, so that they can actually see where the dust has moved from a dust storm going by and by.
Yeah.
I was going to show some more pictures, but I didn't want to. But there was one where the polar cap, the edge of the polar cap, the winds were blowing it down and causing the dust storm and change and stuff like that. There's so much detail this year. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you should follow Damien Peach if you're not already doing so on
I'm
Twitter.
following Damien
Yeah.
and
He has remarkable pictures
Christopher Go,
for the size
guy
of the picture.
Wesley down in.
Yeah.
They yeah. Well, I mean, our problem is we're always under the jet stream,
Yeah.
but every now and then the jet stream. I've noticed this year when I've taken pictures that when the jet stream we get on the edge, even though the seeing is bad, we're getting a lot more detail.
Good.
Well, how about you, Chris? You found the same thing? Undo your voice.
Yep. I observed pretty much the same thing. Our other problem, we're at 45 degrees north latitude, and the air, there's these big circulation cells from equator to the pole, and we're, Bill, you can correct me here. We're at one of those places where the air rises. 33 degrees north latitude Barbados, where I think, is it Go or Peach? One of them.
Damien Peach goes.
Yeah. The air is falling there, so it's stable. He's surrounded by water because he's on an island. He's got it great. And everything is really high in the sky, so we've got everything stacked against us. But yeah, sometimes the jet moves to just one side, and it's a lot better.
It really is. I can't, because I get so upset with looking at my pictures and then looking at other people who aren't under the jet stream, and the detail they're getting is unbelievable. And that's not the big name guys like Damien Peach and Christopher Go, Anthony Wesley. These are just a couple of amateurs. I've seen people who are not under the jet stream with an 8-inch telescope blow away any of my 10-inch stuff. I mean, Bernard Day, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. I'm just wondering, how do you know if you're under the jet stream?
If you go, you want to do that? If you go to the weather forecaster, and you can go under jet stream, and it shows you the jet stream. It shows you the main jet stream will be bright red, the blue, and that's different speeds, and then the edge. So it's just like on the weather thing.
Would you guys be under it and I wouldn't be under it out here, or the other way around?
That can't, because the jet stream moves back and forth like this. You could be not under it. Now we could be under it.
So how wide would it be? Just a few hundred? How wide, like, is it usually?
Well, at least several hundred kilometers, if not 1,000 kilometers. I guess the question is whether you're at the edge or right in the middle of it. And there's a lot of other turbulence too. Clear Sky Charts, they've got a seeing bar graph, and you can click in that, and every box will bring you to a map.
Oh, yes, yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yes.
Yeah, you can just see a picture. where it's sharp and where it's not. And if there's any weather going through, yeah, there's the jet, but then there's also local turbulence from systems and things. So
Okay.
I've been surprised actually. When you think it's going to be horrible and you actually look at the eyepiece, it's better than you thought it would be. I've had the reverse happen a few times too. I've had it so crappy that I've just shut the telescope and gone in. But
correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry for interrupting there.
Nope.
Is there any truth, and I think that there is, to if you look up and the stars are, you know, twinkling a lot more than, say, another night, that's an indication of just how buried you are overhead with the jet stream?
yeah, if you're away from a house or something that's hot and you're actually seeing the sky, the far sky twinkling, not the near sky twinkling. Yeah.
No sky tonight.
And transparency, you could have good seeing, but bad transparency, and it feels it. Okay. Any more questions, or shall we move on to the next?
Next thing is observation reports, member photos.
Okay,
I'm assuming Nikolai is not on here. Someone will have to give his report next after this.
Okay. Well, I'll go and.
By the way, Nikolai is becoming a Canadian citizen tomorrow morning.
Oh,
Cool.
congratulations.
All right. Maybe he's pre-partying.
He's working tonight.
Ah, okay.
Questions report. Our slide.
Thanks for the talk, Gary.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Let's see here. What am I looking for? Members.
Observation reports and photos. There's a couple of new ones on the website.
All right. Okay, Bernard, you want to talk about your beautiful photograph here?
Yeah, I guess I could. Yeah, a little bit from what I know of it, to tell you the truth. I don't see it there. Do you have it on there? Or?
Yes, I do. Oh, it's not showing up, guys? There. Now can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, it was showing up on mine as being shared. Wasn't. Okay, you want to talk about it, Bernard?
Well, I went to my observatory, which is in my cabin, as you guys probably know, in the woods there. Where it's completely dark most of the time. And on the night of opposition, I even took the next day off work actually and stayed up all night. So I was taking videos all night of Mars, and I think this one here was a video I took around, let's see, 2:40 a.m. on the 14th, I guess it was. And I took a little over 5-minute ABI video of this one. I think it came to a little over, well, it was 8.6 gigabytes. So it was a lot of data coming in, but I did some processing on it the next day there, and tell you the truth, I'm sort of not no expert at it, and sort of tried all kinds of different settings and all kinds of different things to do, and was lucky enough to stumble across this there, and all of a sudden it just popped right out and turned out really good. I did go back over the video and look at it, the raw video, and around that time, I think the sky might have cleared really good. And like, you know, sometimes I've noticed that when you're doing planets, which I haven't got a lot of experience with, but they were doing a lot of jumping around, but this one like seemed like it cleared out pretty good at that time. And there were times in that video where you could see really clear there. So I guess that's why it jumped out like it did there, you know?
Well, this area here that I'm circling right here, usually you can't see this is a place to look for dust storms. A lot of dust storms start off right here. There's polar cap down here, southern polar cap.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks, Bernard.
Yeah, okay.
Mike.
Yeah, so these ones, and it was more than a week ago, I guess, or a bit more than that. Using an 8-inch gob, and I'm using 10 times digital magnification on the DSLR, so I can get about 11 seconds as it drifts across the sensor. And so I do, for this one, I did 4 11-second videos, and then took 4 or 5, and then just took about, each one of those would be about 350 frames. I took about the best 200 using, so I use PIPP to turn it into a set of TIFFs for each of the videos. And then I just put all them together in one file, put that into AutoStacker. And then I think I just used GIMP for this one. Sometimes I use Registax, but I can never figure out the wavelets. So I just did GIMP, but it's nice. I can see the, I was really happy that I could see the, looks like a polar cap there. And there's this rind effect that people are talking about on the website, which is probably a diffraction effect. And you know, where I'm using an 8-inch scope, that might be part of it. It was fun.
Thanks very much, Mike. Excellent photograph. Excellent. Jeepers. Now, Chris decided to give us a break. Want to talk about this, Chris? This is a fantastic picture, by the way. Chris?
Thanks. Okay, I wasn't expecting you to show this. Okay, great. Yeah, later that night, I took Mars video as well and got a picture not nearly as good as Bernard's, using the same equipment, coincidentally. I'm in the city, he's in the country. He shot 10,000 frames, I shot 1,000, go figure. So congratulations, Bernard. What a great Mars picture. I had a couple of hours to kill earlier in the evening. I have one of these dual band nebular filters. Can people hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have one of these dual band nebula filters from Zwol. It lets through the light from the red light from hydrogen. Also, there's a blue-green hydrogen line. It lets through the green light from oxygen 3. Most of the light that a nebula will emit, and it blocks a lot of starlight. Not all of it. And but it will, for galaxy pictures, it will make the nebulae pop out. And I thought I'd just take a picture of M33 with the setup in the yard. And so yeah, that's NGC 595 there, and the other one is 604. It's the largest, or one of the largest H2 regions in the local group of galaxies, actually. 30 Doradus is another one of those down in the Large Magellanic Cloud. These are places where stars are born. Massive stars light up the gas around them and they fluoresce. So that's M33 as the center. You can see lots of little red puffs. This is about 2 hours worth of 2-minute exposures through the filter from a suburban backyard. The conditions weren't particularly great. The transparency wasn't so great. But this filter is, and others like it, are wonderful things because they chop away a lot of the starlight. If the moon is up, it chops away a lot of the moonlight. Just stick this in your path. And
it's a great picture. Reminds me of a jellyfish.
Yeah, a little bit. Because the only light it passes is blue, green, and red. You do have to adjust the color a little bit. You do get a blue-green wash, especially from starlight. So I guess some of that is still remaining in this picture.
Okay, thanks, Chris. I think there's another one you got here too. There you go. The other side of Mars.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, yeah, I had my kick at the can too with Mars. And, oh, you can't see my pointer. Could you point at Olympus?
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
I found it amazing that on almost any scope, You can see what I call the slash across the middle of Mars, right? Right, that showed up without even any other detail I found. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice polar cap here.
Yeah.
But
Thanks.
Mount Olympus, I'm really impressed with this, picking this up. I've picked that up visually once.
Yeah, boy, we're lucky to have Mars so high. I'm lucky to have Mars high enough to get above our trees. I haven't taken a single picture of Jupiter or Saturn because they're low in the sky, or were low in the sky all summer behind all our trees in the yard. But Mars, high enough to clear the trees. So yeah, there you go.
Usually you can see this, but detail like this right here, I haven't seen in such a long time. I haven't seen this here at all.
It's really too bad that we're missing public outreach for this sort of stuff, right?
Oh,
geez.
And the comment as well. Right?
You can tell this has taken a few hours. Sorry, you can tell this has taken a few hours before Barnard's because Certus Major hasn't rotated into view yet.
Yeah. It's amazing though, still, like Gary was saying, this would be textbook quality, 10 years ago, right?
Oh, yes.
Right?
Lovely picture, Chris, lovely picture.
Yeah.
This is that I took. Certus Major's, the fork, the rim, as Mike was talking about, and some cloud right here in the Libra area. Boy, type of thing.
Gary?
Yeah, it's not bad. Here's a quick one of Jupiter, some detail. I want to point out the white spot here was a white spot storm. There was 3 of them. It rotated every 9 hours, 47 minutes. The wind speed was clocked at 162.9. I had it at 160 with just a stopwatch, so I was quite pleased that I was still able to make an artificial line down the center here and be able to count the rotation. And Ganymede, right there. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also another one out here, which I think is and Saturn. Nice detail in the rings, and nice shadow there on the rings from the planet. And that brings our what?
Well,
marvelous pictures, Gary. And I think my next piece of astronomical equipment will be a chainsaw.
Yeah. Okay,
you and Robert could win a half someone, right?
can you hear me actually?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Okay, can you put your picture back up of Mars?
Okay, all right. Me to share again.
Just a case of beer in an afternoon, and I'll look after those trees for you.
Okay. How do we get rid of this? This one, or do you want burners?
No, that was good. I wanted to say that I had the opportunity, to visually spend some time with Mars, not just a quick look, but to sit down and study it on a couple of nights. I never got any imagery that worked out for me of Mars. But I was obviously very impressed with the views that I was getting, and I could see, more detail on the surface, similar to, the imagery you're seeing there with, being able to see the dark markings and with bays or whatever you want to call it in between, and I had never ever seen that before with Mars. Not the last time in 2003. Couldn't see that kind of detail. Well, I think there were dust storms back then anyway, but visually it was just stunning, and to be able to see the ice cap. And also at the northern side of Mars, that bluish cap that I think you referenced to as some kind of a cap.
It's a hood. It's a hood.
Yeah.
It's a fog over thing. But this,
Yeah.
I think, in mine, I think it's mainly caused by the rim, but you can actually see the hood.
Yes,
And by December, that'll disappear, and you'll actually see the peak,
yes,
like you see down here.
look forward to seeing the cap, the northern cap at that time. But I wondered what I was actually seeing there, and now I understand it's that hood. So it's quite an impressive sight, you know, at the opposition, and you know, I guess the week either side of that. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thanks, Robert. I'd like to advise people to download WinJupus. It's a free thing, but it allows you to take measurements, so you can actually measure this going down. When I was doing drawings back in the 90s, over the season, I could actually see this go from latitude 60 to latitude 80. Like right now, this is only 479 kilometers wide, according to my last measurements, while on August the 8th, it was 700 and something kilometers. So it has shrunk that much during the, right? So I thought it was interesting.
Yes, and it shrinks by sublimation, I think.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing now. Okay, who's doing the observing director this month?
I've got that on my screen if you want me to do it.
Okay, if you want to do it, or, you know.
It'd be a quick run through.
Okay, perfect.
Here we go. This was prepared by Nikolai. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
So
you're getting really good at this.
I told you by the end of this, I'll have it down pat, right? So Nikolai usually goes through, as you all know, we got change of time coming up in 2 weeks, isn't it? Daylight savings and all that stuff.
Yeah, at the end of October,
so
November.
You can certainly, November 3rd, I think.
And Halloween too.
And so there's the difference in the twilight, daylight and stuff. You can certainly notice how quick the darkness comes in at night nowadays, which is great, right? So here's our planets. Oh, he's got Pluto there. I wanted to.
That's because Verna.
There's a great thing coming up on the 21st of December, a great conjunction. Jupiter and Saturn will appear in the same view of an eyepiece with all the little moons and stuff, closest in 400 years. So it's only a couple of hours after solstice too. So there's the relative details of the planets when they're setting and stuff. You certainly can't miss Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn in the sky these days. And what a beautiful moon last night. Well, a little bit I saw of it. Well, it had forks, right? You know, that's what it looked like, right? What's that, a spot?
That's interesting.
I think the estimate is that solar max is going to be 2025. So we've rounded the turn, as someone would say. So while you're not tired of Mars, there you go. It's going to drop magnitude. I had seen that on one of the Zoom sessions that someone said at the end of the month it just falls off quite dramatically in brightness. So I guess it's racing away from us. Neptune and Uranus and those things are also quite close to Saturn and Jupiter in the sky these days, so it's not far to look from them. I haven't seen that. Evening planets, again, we got Jupiter. Mercury's coming back again too, isn't it? Yeah. I was amazed, Jim, by your video the other night, how clear. Man, that must be an 8K definition camera, is it? You could see Orion rising in that security camera of yours.
It's not. I don't think it's 8K, but
Yeah,
it's pretty
well,
good.
7.5 then. So here's some comments. 6.9, of course, is getting up there. Supposedly peaking today. 3.9 today.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's a different. I think that's a bit low. I saw somewhere on 7. It's going to be, but keep an eye on that one.
Can we see that? Is that in our sky?
I'm not sure.
Virgo is long past, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm not sure either.
separation from the sun is only 11 degrees, so that's pretty close, right?
That's pretty close. Yeah.
So the atlas is still there. A couple of atlases. Boy, has everyone ever seen that constellation? Eridanus. Eridanus.
That's the one below the foot of Orion. It's the river, isn't it?
Okay. We can make a song about that. The river of Uranus, right? Asteroids. Again, these are all nice targets, but I think you're not going to see them unaided eye, right?
No.
Anybody chase asteroids? Any
No.
of you? No. Supernovae have all gone away. November is the Leonids. I always like the Leonids. I won a contest the other day on a Zoom session. I won a $50 certificate that I'll submit to us based on one of these answers, right?
One of these answers.
Yeah, it was from the Astronomical League.
Okay.
They had 3 questions. One was, at what phase of the moon is it half as bright as the full moon? And I'll leave that to your investigation. Another one was which comet produced a certain meteor shower. And what was there was another one. Anyhow, I came 3rd place. So,
well, congratulations.
We're sweeping up bits of Comet Halley right now.
Yeah.
The Orion is underway.
Yep.
Leonids.
The Leonids are noted for their flares, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it'll be another cold night in my backyard. Okay. Deep sky objects. There you go. For those of you who are into that sort of stuff. I think you've all got your targets completed, have you? ISS is coming around again. These are pretty early in the day, but I guess when do they come back up? No, they're all pretty early in the morning, right?
Keep our eyes and ears tuned for any opportunity like we missed out on. But Jim Jim took the bull by the horns for that.
The transit.
The transit, yeah.
Yeah. You got to do a sun one, Jim. They're even harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we are. October is pretty well gone. This is our member meeting. And have a half moon by the look of it.
Yeah.
And what's that, Mercury? Is that Mercury?
No, it's Uranus.
Uranus, same thing, only different.
Uranus at opposition.
There we go, November.
It's going boo.
Yeah. Halloween is on a Saturday night this year, isn't it? Yeah.
The parties.
It's a wonder he didn't put some face on it, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So there you go, a couple of meteor showers next month, full moon.
Full moon on Halloween?
No, full moon is when?
Is that full moon there on the 31st?
Full moon was on the 1st of
Oh,
October.
first, was it? Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it should be in that week, shouldn't it? 28 days later.
What?
It's blue moon on Halloween night, isn't it?
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, blue moon. Maybe that's what it is. Okay.
Looks like it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's blue. I remember seeing that. It's not super though, right? So it's no point of watching it.
But that can't be. There's no markings on it. Right? That must
It is a blue moon because that's 2 in the same month, right?
That's Uranus. It's also opposition that night.
Could be. Well, there's a blue moon that night as well, though.
Yep.
Right. So it's a
Blue
blue
crater
Uranus moon. Anyhow, so there's
What's
November. Observing period, I guess, around there. And that's about it.
30th.
Yeah, this is on the website. You can view at your leisure. So, thank you, Nikolai. Welcome to Canada.
Thanks, Randy, for doing that at the last minute. I have one question. Do people like this format where you can see faces and interact?
Depends on the faces.
Please let us know. Send us an email to info.rasc. We'll see.
Are we adjourning?
No, any other business before we adjourn?
I had one question.
Who?
Yep.
Me, Bernard.
Okay.
I was thinking about purchasing a new camera. I was looking at the ASI 294 MC Pro. I've seen some videos on that, and I think one of you guys might have it. I'm not quite sure.
Chris.
Yeah, it's you, Chris.
Yeah. That's what I use.
Is it good?
Very
Would
nice.
that be? Would it be a good match for the type scope I have?
Well, that's what I'm using on my scope, which is the same scope you have. So perfect match.
Okay.
From my perspective. Yeah, it's well good. You got to be a little careful about calibrations, but they figured all that out. We'll chat. Recommend it.
Thank you.
Jim Johnson, did you have something to say about cameras?
No, if you can afford it, I would recommend you go with a monochrome, but nothing wrong with one-shot color either, especially with the weather we have in Newfoundland.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
You could pick up that new Canon 250 megapixel one.
Yeah.
Okay, any other business? Any ideas? Any ideas for talks? We should have, I think there's coming 2 talks. You got
Phil
something to say?
offered one.
Keith.
Yeah, I just wanted to, it's Keith Knoll. I just wanted to say thanks for the first meeting I've joined, and appreciate your discussion. And it's quite good. I see one name on the bottom of the list there. I guess he's online. Fred Smith. Are you there, Fred?
Oh, he's asleep by now.
Fred doesn't have a microphone or video.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Good enough.
So he might text you, but
I'll just say hi to Fred anyway, because Fred was, when I was a kid, I got interested in science, largely to do with Fred, because he's my cousin, and he's a few years older.
Was he old then, or was he a kid too?
No, he's a little bit older.
I can't get him to come out at all.
He's a little bit older than me, but it was a great motivator in science. So I didn't study science; I studied engineering. But anyway,
smart move.
I'm glad to join you tonight, and I look forward to more meetings.
Good.
Thanks.
Keep an eye on your mail for a package from me.
Will do. Thanks.
Thanks, Keith.
Do you
Glad
have
to
any
you
of
aboard.
did you get any Sky News at all this year?
You talking to me, Keith?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'll send you the whole year.
Great, thanks.
Can I say one more thing?
Yep.
Before we adjourn?
Sorry, Gary.
We've, I don't think it was mentioned, but we've been out to the park, I think 3 times, maybe 4, since COVID. And with proper, distancing, that can be an option if you're so inclined.
For members, you mean?
Yeah, for members.
You're talking about Butterpot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. but it's been rather, informal. There's been no, like membership notices, that would alert the membership in general to that fact. So it's been largely done through just on the RASCNL groups
Yes.
IO site or email.
Yeah, Robert, I had mentioned that in my president's report that we had 3 members' nights.
Oh, okay. Good. I was asleep then, Gary.
Yeah. Phil, one of the problems we've had is that the Holy Rood radar was offline all the summer, being replaced by a new ultra-modern machine. So we couldn't see any rain coming. And there's been a couple of times now when the forecast said, cloudy, and you get up and look at the what happened yesterday. It's been clear all night.
Like 2 nights ago.
Happened a couple nights ago, right? Yeah. So.
Gary, you asked about talks. We may have one possibly late in the spring or maybe early next fall.
Something to do with satellites?
On the project that myself and Dr. Bernard are doing.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
He mentioned in an email, or actually in a meeting we had there about a week and a half ago, that once we get it all done, if the center was interested in hearing about it, he'd be possibly doing a talk on it. So.
Yep.
Excellent. Good. I think we got one on solar observing coming up and one on asteroids.
Phil's offered one as well. Right, Phil?
Yeah, sure. I don't know what yet, but
okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. That's much better than what I was having a few last week.
What's going on asteroids?
Jedicke, Peter.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I mean, with the meetings being virtual, that's kind of flexible in that you could draw in potentially anybody.
Well,
and they don't have to travel, right? So
yeah.
I've noticed Mr. Comet himself on pretty well every Zoom the past 2 or 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
David Levy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on again last night. Okay.
We got to adjourn the meeting.
Yes, please.
Can I have a vote for adjourn? Raise the hand. Just speak your word.
Yeah, I'll say let's get out of here.
Phil and Marcellus.
Way to go.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks everybody for showing up.
Thanks.
We've got another 10 minutes, so those people who want to chit chat with each other.
No.